Unbelievable.
Tonight, silence from President Trump on Roy Moore.
Do you believe Roy Moore's accusers, Mr. President?
And this evening, the White House is pressed why, after 8 accusers, will the president take no questions while taking aim at Al Franken. And tonight, Franken now facing a new accuser. And from politics to media, tonight, veteran broadcaster Charlie Rose responding to accusations reported in the Washington Post. 8 women now allege Rose sexually harassed them. Tonight, the response from Charlie Rose as CBS News now suspends him. The explosion north of New York City, at least 2 major blasts reported. Dozens of people hurt, including several firefighters. Authorities just a short time ago on the missing submarine. Dozens on board, the rough seas, and tonight, what we've just learned. Your Money Tonight, the countdown is on until Black Friday. Experts on the best deals on Wednesday, then on Thanksgiving, and what you should wait for on the day after. And Touched by an Angel, remembering a beloved TV actress.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a Monday night. And we begin with the widening conversation about sexual harassment in this country and a major new development tonight. From politics to media, and this evening, a veteran broadcaster under the microscope as President Trump remains silent on Alabama Senate candidate Roy Moore. The president was asked again today, but no comment. This after taking aim at Democrat Al Franken. But no word on Moore, accused of preying on teenage girls, and how the White House responds when asked why. And it comes as CBS News tonight suspends Charlie Rose amid a new report, 8 women now accusing him. We begin with ABC senior White House correspondent Cecilia Vega.
It has been 11 days since Roy Moore was first hit with accusations of sexual misconduct with teenagers, but still no word from President Trump. So today we asked again. Your thoughts on Roy Moore, Mr. President? Do you believe his accusers? Do you believe Roy Moore's accusers, Mr. President?
Thank you very much.
Until now, the line from the White House, Alabama voters will decide. But today, senior counselor Kellyanne Conway went beyond that, bashing the Democrat in the race while offering what sounded like a Roy Moore endorsement.
He's strong on raising your taxes. He's terrible for property owners.
And
Doug Jones is a doctrinaire liberal, which is why he's not saying anything and why the media are trying to boost him.
So vote Roy Moore?
I'm telling you that we want the votes in the Senate to get this tax bill through.
Is that the position of this White House, that voters are better off voting for someone accused of assaulting teenage girls than a Democrat?
The position of the White House hasn't changed. We feel like the people of Alabama should make the determination on who their next senator should be.
But she made a clear suggestion over who they should vote for.
And I'm giving you the answer, the position of the White House.
Moore has repeatedly denied the accusations of sexual assault and misconduct, allegations by 8 women, some of whom were teenagers at the time. Lee Korfman says she was 14 when Moore assaulted her nearly 40 years ago.
He basically laid out some blankets on the floor of his living room and proceeded to seduce me. But I was a 14-year-old child trying to play in an adult's world, and he was 32 years old.
Rather than weigh in on the scandal, President Trump spent the weekend tweeting about everyone from Hillary Clinton to Arizona Senator Jeff Flake over this hot mic moment.
Come the party of Roy Moore and Donald Trump. We are toast.
The president tweeted, Flake was caught, quote, saying bad things about your favorite president, adding, his political career anyway is toast.
So let's get live to Cecilia Vega at the White House tonight. And Cecilia, President Trump had tweeted about Senator Al Franken, and tonight another woman is now accusing Senator Franken of inappropriate behavior.
David, 33-year-old Lindsay Mentz, that is her name. Take a look at this photo. She tells CNN that Franken grabbed her backside while they were posing for this picture back in 2010. He was a sitting senator at the time. In a statement tonight, Franken says, quote, I take thousands of photos at the state fair surrounded by hundreds of people, and I certainly don't remember taking this picture. I feel badly that Miss Mentz came away from our interaction feeling disrespected. Tonight, David, a spokesperson for Al Franken, says he does not plan to resign in the wake of this second accusation.
Cecilia Vega leading us off tonight. Cecilia, thank you. And next to those claims of sexual misconduct against veteran broadcast journalist Charlie Rose, 8 women and their allegations first reported in the Washington Post. Tonight, his response, and CBS News now suspending him. Here's ABC's Lindsay Davis.
Stunning accusations tonight of sexual harassment and assault against iconic journalist Charlie Rose. 8 women have come forward in the Washington Post with damning allegations against the host of the prestigious Charlie Rose Show. One of Rose's assistants in the mid-2000s tells the paper about at least a dozen instances where Rose walked nude in front of her while she worked in one of his New York City homes and would repeatedly call her late at night to describe his fantasies of her swimming naked. Another woman who worked at the Charlie Rose Show describes a drive she took with the anchor, saying it was quite early in working there that he put his hand on my mid-thigh. She said, I tensed up. I didn't move his hand off, but I pulled my legs to the other side of the car. I tried not to get in a car with him ever again. I think he was testing me out. Several of the accusers say they told Yvette Vega, Rose's longtime executive producer, about their experiences. One woman described Vega's response as a shrug and saying, that's just Charlie being Charlie.
I'm Charlie Rose with Gail.
Rose is also a co-host of CBS This Morning, but none of the accusers worked with him at CBS. In a statement to the Post, Rose said, it is essential that these women know I hear them and that I deeply apologize for my inappropriate behavior. I am greatly embarrassed. He went on to say, I always felt that I was pursuing shared feelings, even though I now realize I was mistaken. Tonight, CBS News has suspended Rose, and PBS announced it will halt production and distribution of his show. Also want to add that his longtime executive producer, Yvette Vega, released a statement about the women saying, I should have stood up for them. I failed. It is crushing. David.
Lindsay Davis with us tonight. Lindsay, thank you. We move on to other news this Monday evening into the explosions and a fire at a factory north of New York City. Dozens of people injured. The explosions filling the sky with smoke, sending workers rushing for safety. And tonight, the new concern over what chemicals might be in the air. ABC's Gio Benitez is on the scene tonight.
Tonight, those dramatic images of the cosmetics plant in flames. The roof consumed by fire, smoke billowing. New York's governor launching an investigation after 2 explosions rocked Verla International Plant. The first one at 10:15 a.m.
I got multiple victims down. I want to advise the hospital to activate their disaster plan.
The second blast less than half an hour later. Officials at one point issuing a shelter in place for residents in the area. Together, the explosions injuring 35 people. Some of the injured firefighters trying to help, all expected to survive.
He fractured his right ankle, so we're still blessed because it could have been so much worse.
Tonight, investigators are still searching for a cause, and the big concern, potential toxins in the air from the burning plant that mostly produces nail polish.
Carbon monoxide exposure, certainly, and cyanide exposure are the 2 ones that come to mind for those people that had direct chemicals exposure.
Gio Benitez with us live tonight from Windsor, New York. And Gio, we're learning that the plant did have safety violations before.
That's right, David. 9 safety violations over the past year. Some of them were about flammable liquids. David.
All right, Gio Benitez with us tonight. Gio, thank you. We turn next here to a mysterious and deadly incident in southwest Texas involving 2 Border Patrol agents. The incident in a remote spot east of El Paso and 30 miles from the Mexican border. The agents were, quote, responding to activity when one of them called for help, saying they were injured. President Trump said it was an attack that showed the need for his border wall. But authorities tonight say they are now investigating whether it was an accident. Agent Rogelio Martinez did not survive. His partner is in serious condition tonight. We turn now to the desperate hunt for a submarine and its 44-member crew. There is late word coming in tonight that they are now analyzing a noise that might have come from that submarine. The search hampered by fierce seas as U.S. Navy equipment arrives to help in the search. ABC's Lindsay Janis is in Argentina tonight.
Tonight, rescue teams facing these fierce winds and massive waves, focusing their search zone after an Argentine naval ship picked up underwater noises while looking for the missing submarine. Officials urging caution. Those noises described as sustained, now being analyzed by the U.S. Navy.
The U.S. Navy aircraft have very powerful computers to analyze these sounds to make sure this is, in fact, the Argentinian submarine.
The ARA San Juan was last heard from 5 days ago. Its commander reporting an electrical fault. Now it's a race against time to save the 44 crew members on board, including Argentina's first female submarine officer, Eliana Maria Krawczyk. The families of the crew members gathering at the naval base today. Carlos Mendoza waiting for news of his brother Fernando. He says the truth is the days go by and not knowing anything at all just kills you. It kills you.
And Lindsay Jennings joins us live tonight from Mar del Plata, Argentina, where the submarine was heading. And Lindsay, I know authorities there believe the sailors might be running out of time. They've been out of contact now for 5 days, and some say they may only have enough oxygen for 2 more days at the most.
That's right, David. The Argentine Navy says in a worst-case scenario, if the submarine has sunk, it only has a total of a week's worth of oxygen. David?
Lindsay Jennings in Argentina. Lindsay, thank you. President Trump putting North Korea back on the list of state sponsors of terror tonight, calling it a, quote, murderous regime and promising new sanctions and penalties. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson today calling that designation a, quote, very symbolic move, saying that sanctions already in place are working, saying that the 2-month pause since North Korea's last missile test shows that there is still hope for diplomacy. The Department of Justice tonight rejecting AT&T's bid to buy Time Warner. The mega merger worth $85 billion, the DOJ claiming the merger would hurt American consumers. Tonight, AT&T says they plan to countersue. We turn next here to an ABC News exclusive tonight. The American mother and her family held captive by the Taliban for years. In her first television interview describing the brutal conditions of their captivity, the extraordinary steps they took to protect their children, and how their children are now adjusting to freedom. ABC's chief investigative correspondent Brian Ross tonight also asking the question, what were they doing in Afghanistan when they were captured?
Everything is new now for these children. Playgrounds, sunlight, real toys, pizza. Until just a few weeks ago, they were being held hostage with their parents by the Taliban, born in captivity.
But we can only ask and pray that somebody will recognize the atrocities these men carry out against us.
Their parents, American mother Caitlin Boyle and father Joshua, had been kidnapped 5 years ago when they traveled to Afghanistan. She was 6 months pregnant, somehow thinking they would be safe. Tonight, they tell ABC News, nothing could have been further from the truth.
I was shackled for the entire 5 years, every day.
Caitlin, still wearing a hijab, told us the guards sexually assaulted her and beat all of them regularly, including their eldest son, now 4, Najeshi, even as she tried to protect him.
That's how I would get beaten or hit or thrown on the ground.
And she described how she tried to give her children as normal a life as possible.
We would just teach them to use things like bottle caps or bits of cardboard and tell them, like, these are toys. My wish for them now is that they never have to face fear in their lives again.
Her father in Pennsylvania has yet to see his daughter, still unable to understand how her husband got her into the situation, a question that Joshua Boyle would not answer for us.
What were you thinking when you took your wife there in the first place?
Silence.
And Brian Ross with us now. So what is the answer to that question? Do we have any idea, Brian?
Well, David, they said they went to help villagers living in that war-torn area and thought that somehow would protect them. They found out very quickly it did not.
Brian Ross and your team and your exclusive reporting. You'll have much more coming up tonight on Nightline. More of that interview we hope you'll watch later tonight after Jimmy Kimmel, or set your DVR. In the meantime, we turn next tonight to the death of Charles Manson, one of the most notorious mass murderers in America. The cult leader who deployed his young followers to carry out a gruesome slaughter in the summer of 1969. Manson was serving life in prison. ABC senior national correspondent Matt Gutman on what he once told Diane Sawyer about those killings.
In the summer of love era, he lusted for death. Charles Manson had convinced his cult, known as the Manson family, that a race war was coming, inspired by the Beatles' song Helter Skelter.
I said, if you're gonna do something, leave something witchy.
His followers say he ordered a spate of murders in Los Angeles. Among them was the pregnant actress Sharon Tate.
Hello?
Manson would distance himself from the murders in this memorable 1994 interview with Diane Sawyer.
I never told anybody to do anything other than what they wanted to do.
And if they wanted to do murder, that was okay
That was
with
none
you?
of my business, woman. I'm a convict. I'm an outlaw. I'm a rebel. I'm not a Sunday school teacher.
The murders earned him a death sentence, later commuted to life, and something else he craved, fame.
Is Charlie Manson crazy?
Or whatever that means. Sure, he's crazy as mad as a hatter. What difference does it make? You know, a long time ago, being crazy meant something. Nowadays, everybody's crazy.
Tonight, David, Sharon Tate's sister says of Manson's death that it should be